Hi, everyone. So excited to be here today to join you on day 2 of the Pediatric Gaming Technology Symposium. I heard everyone had a really great time yesterday. Hope you're all fired up about the awesome lineup that Children's Colorado and Child's Play have for you today, including the iPads for Kids program. Hi, my name is Christine Edwards. I'm the Senior Foundation Manager for the Bungie Foundation.
And I'm Austin Schlichtman. I'm the program manager for the iPads for Kids program.
Hi, I'm Sountary and I'm the Bungie Foundation Program Coordinator.
Thanks, everyone. So this is our little team here at the Bungie Foundation. So what's our goal today? Really, our goal here is for the three of us to share some information with all of you, especially those of you who are gaming technology specialists, about the iPads for Kids program, how it can help both you and your hospital, as well as your role as gaming technology specialists at your hospital, and of course, how you can participate. So here's a little bit about what our session will look like today. First, we're going to talk a little bit about the Bungie Foundation, give you some background about who we are, what we do, and then give you an overview of the iPads for Kids program. Next up, we will give you a bit of background about our incredible partnership with Child's Play Charity, who, of course, you all know and love, and the role that they have played in our program's success. Then we want to talk about you. We want to talk about how you can fit into the iPads for Kids program, provide you with the details that you need to reach out to us and partner specifically with this program, and make for a really successful program at your hospital, and how you can get involved. There's going to be plenty of time at the end to answer all of your questions. So please drop us a line in the chat during this session, and drop anything in the line. If there's any questions or things that we've talked about that we maybe weren't clear enough on, or that you want more details on, let us know so we can address those at the end. We also want to hear from you in terms of any struggles that you might be having within your role at your hospital, and how maybe the iPads for Kids program could help be a part of that solution. Okay, so let's dive in. The Bungie Foundation is really the charitable giving arm of video game developer Bungie, located in the Seattle greater region. Some of you might know us as the creators and former developers of Halo, as well as the creators and current developers of Destiny. And as a company, it really is our desire, and really we feel our responsibility to give back to our community in meaningful ways. We started the Bungie Foundation in 2010 as a way to formally express our company's values externally, and make a positive impact in our community. We really, as an organization, have 3 areas of focus. The first is around children's health and emotional well-being, which we'll be focusing on today with the iPads for Kids program. We also provide funding and resources for humanitarian aid following natural and economic crises. And lastly, we focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, which largely we focus around areas of STEAM, but really DE&I translates across all of the work that we do as an organization. So we are really driven by our desire to see a world in which every person can attain their human right to health, happiness, and equitable treatment. We're a people-focused organization that builds and empowers our community to improve the health and well-being of children, uplift the rights of individuals and communities, and provide aid in times of crisis. We uplift through the iPads for Kids program specifically. We uplift the emotional and social well-being of pediatric patients by providing them with fully customizable, age-appropriate content that allows for distraction, therapeutic play, and a sense of normalcy that is, as you all know, so vital to creating a positive hospital experience in what can, as we all know, be a very stressful and scary situation for both the patient and their families. We really strive to reach patients across all spectrums of care. So this could be a patient that's coming in for a routine procedure, a lab, an exam, et cetera, to those who are experiencing potentially really invasive or long procedures, surgeries, inpatient care, that they might be there for a while. So our goal really is to systematically expand our program to children's hospitals across the country in order to reach the greatest number of patients in need. Okay. So up next, you'll see a short video that's really just to give you a bit more of an overview of how the program works. Awesome. Okay. So the iPads for Kids program really provides a digital experience for pediatric patients that will support their emotional and social needs while leaving them with a positive lifelong impression that the Bungie Foundation and their hospital staff cared about them in their time of need. We're super passionate here about this program because we believe that childhood should be filled with joy, laughter, and social interaction with their family and friends. But we also recognize that illness and injury can turn a kid's world upside down, and it can lead to fear, anxiety, uncertainty, boredom, and sometimes even depression while they cope with their hardship. And we believe that with the right digital patient experience, kids can experience much closer to the normalcy that they deserve. And we want to bring this experience to as many hospitalized children as we can. Uh, we see some of the services that are available for purchase on the market, and don't necessarily see that they meet the holistic needs of pediatric patients. They can also be extremely expensive, as some of you know, oftentimes for an inferior product. These programs can tend to make hospitals feel like they're locked into vendor-defined static content for their patients to interact with within their product. We at the Bungie Foundation are providing an app that allows your hospital to fully customize the entertainment that you want your kids to interact with, the clinical and communication content that you want to provide, and provide pediatric patients with an interactive, friendly experience that enables a positive journey from the moment they walk into the hospital doors to the moment that they leave. And we want to do this completely free of charge to your hospital. We believe that that's the right thing for us to do to make this program available to you without the burdensome cost of running the program. So when a pediatric patient comes into the hospital that has incorporated our digital program, they'll be taken on a journey that supports their emotional needs every step of the way. That means that they're going to have the right content to engage with, regardless of how they're feeling in that moment. While we know that we can't eliminate all fear, pain, or uncertainty, we do believe that it can be substantially reduced by increasing their levels of joy, distraction, normalcy, and understanding about the world that's going on around them in the hospital. We believe that patients will leave the hospital feeling like they weren't alone, like they had a constant companion with them to help them with what they needed most in each time of need. And we hope that we leave that long lasting impression that they were cared for during the most challenging times in their lives. We love that there are child life specialists and the gaming technology specialists at the hospital, that you are working every single day to do that work, to care for your patients, to leave them feeling loved and supported. And we want to make sure that we're able to support you in doing that work through the iPads for Kids program. And now I will hand it off to my colleague, Sountary.
Thank you, Christine. All right, and here, these are our iPads for Kids partners. We couldn't ask for a better group of existing hospital partners who have championed the iPads for Kids program and utilized it to make a meaningful difference in their patients' lives. And those hospitals are Children's Colorado, St. Mary's, Nationwide Children's, Seattle Children, Metro Health, Children's Health Dallas, and Valley Children. We are also very excited to announce 3 new partnerships that we have recently just kicked off the ground, and they are CS Mott Children's, the Madrone School and Clinic, and Logan Health Children. We hope to soon call a few more of you our partners as well. So before we dive into the iPads for Kids program, we want to take a minute to recognize our incredible partnership with Child's Play. To many of you, Child's Play Charity is a household name in their efforts to leverage the power of play to improve the lives of children. To us, they were pioneers. They opened the world's eyes to the compassion and generosity of the gaming community and inspired us at Bungie to uplift our gaming community to do the same. We would not be where we are if it weren't for Child's Play vision for a better world through games. We are grateful to call Child's Play our largest and longest standing grant partner supporting iPads for Kids since 2016. Their support has been instrumental in our program's expansion in the years that followed. But they do so much more for us beyond funding. They collaborate with us to build a broader vision for what's possible with entertainment technology in Children's Hospital. And they work with us to find ideal hospital candidates for the iPads for Kids program gaming technology specialists who are a key raiser in this process. Thank you again to Child's Play for your grant for granting roughly $3.5 million in support of the iPads for Kids program to date. And here is what our iPad program provides. The Bungie Foundation provides a one-time grant that fully covers all costs associated with setting the program up, including iPad, accessories, content, and management software. Supplemental grant applications are reviewed annually as needed. We will work with your hospital to ensure long-term success by providing transparent expectations for ongoing costs and consultation on how to navigate costs moving forward. We believe that every patient who could benefit from our program can do so. We support gaming technology specialists, child life specialists, occupational therapists, music therapists, and others that are critical to a patient's well-being and qualify to receive an iPad for their patient intervention. We will also make sure we will set them up for success with this program as well. We recognize that each patient is different, so our on-staff child life specialist, Austin, has curated a unique set of content based on age ranges, including preschool, school age, teenage through young adult. However, certain units or patients may benefit from specialized content that uniquely meets their needs. We train staff to update content remotely on an individual basis. We are developing an updated version of our app that will act as a patient-friendly companion that enables a positive journey throughout their hospital stay. You will also have our dedicated support from initial planning and meetings to program integration, ongoing maintenance to ensure programmatic success. And for the next slide, I will hand it off to Austin.
Thank you, Sountary. Our technology. So we have partnered with Jamf software to leverage their mobile device management technology, also what we refer to as an MDM, to fully automate our program. This MDM allows the program to lock down security settings, push software updates, customize content on all grouped or individualized devices, and most importantly, resets devices to factory settings to ensure patient confidentiality between patient usage. Jamf has also helped us create an age selection application for our program that allows patients and families to select the content that is most appropriate for them. Once they have selected their appropriate age, the iPad will automatically populate content that will keep them entertained and distracted throughout their hospitalization. Each iPad is tied to a room and never a patient. If desired, our software can connect to any EMR system, including Epic and Cerner, in order to listen to a room's discharge and transfer commands. If these commands are connected, they will communicate to the device to remotely wipe back to factory settings so that no personal information is shared across the device and the patient is ready to go for the next patient admit. What does our future hold? Well, the transition to our scalable grant model has not only increased our reach, but also frees up resources to rethink and expand on what we do best, and that is uplifting the emotional and social well-being of pediatric patients through an engaging and entertaining digital patient experience. We have a lot of new and exciting things on the horizon here at the Bungie Foundation. We're still currently spot checking colors and debugging lines of codes, but what we can tell you is that we've got a shiny new application coming and a new program rebrand following. Now, what you guys have all been waiting for, where do gaming technology specialists come into play? Well, as we see it, there are two basic roles or players that you may fit into. The first is the eager advocate, uses a deep understanding of gaming and technology to therapeutically use and champion the use of iPads within the healthcare environment. They also educate and encourage fellow staff members to use the devices as well. The other, more hands-on, the support engineer, puts their technical know-how to good use and manages the day-to-day support needs through the MDM portal. They also meet patients and staff requests by pushing out in-the-moment updates to the devices live in the field. A lot of which role you fit into may come down to your hospital's level of buy-in to the program. We tend to see smaller hospitals utilize gaming techs as support engineers, doing a lot of the day-to-day management and troubleshooting of minor issues. This is also the case for some larger hospitals starting in smaller pilot phases. The reason for this is this gives overburdened or small IT departments the ability to say, we approve, but somebody else manage it. On the very flip side of this, we see some organizations that have very strict and streamlined processes for their mobile device management. In those instances, the IT team, smaller, overburdened, want or need control of the program from a day-to-day operational standpoint. In those situations, we do tend to find the streamlined processes are great from an operational standpoint, but really do require that squeaky wheel on the ground to advocate for what patients need and want. Now I'll hand it back over to my colleague Sountary to wrap up the final few slides.
All right, thank you, Austin. So we're really proud of the iPads for Kids program, but we don't just want you to hear it from us. So here are a few couple testimonials from other hospitals who have benefited from our program. Thank you for allowing the rehab unit to be a part of your iPads for Kids program. Our patients are often here for extended periods of time that can be long, boring, and even depressing. It has given them entertainment, a sense of normalcy, and an age-appropriate way to escape. We have seen the reduction in stress for them and their families. Thank you so much for your gifts to our patients here at Seattle Children's. The encouragement, memories, and hope given to these kids makes our jobs easier, and we can't thank you enough for the support. And last but not least, we're looking forward to hearing from you. If you're interested in partnering with us and learning about the iPads for Kids program, please send us a note. You can request a partnership through our website or email us at bngfoundation@bungie.com and just provide the following information: your name, email address, and your role at the hospital, whether you're a child life specialist or a child life specialist manager, your hospital name, number of licensed pediatric beds, and the number of iPads needed for your pediatric population immediately and for future growth. And now I'll hand it back to Christine.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Austin and Century. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us while we chatted a little bit about how the program works. We did get a couple questions in the chat. Reading through them, I think Austin, you're going to be on the docket for most of these. So I'll act as moderator and read through these questions. We do have about, it looks like 7 minutes left or so before our session ends. So we'll try to get through all of these as we can. So the first question that we got here, it looks like it's from Misty Jordan. Hello. Misty says, we're interested in getting the iPads for Kids program going at our hospital, but we've received pushback from our architects concerning having an external server and JAMP in regards to patient information and PHI. Any advice on how we can advocate for this program?
Yeah, so I think in those instances, it would just be good to bring us and JAMP together with those departments that have those concerns, because as I hear that, I actually think to myself, JAMP does have a cloud-based solution, and that can be how you utilize JAMP to manage those devices, but they also have on-prem options for not only the portal, the MDM portion where you would manage them, but also the healthcare listener. So those are installed within hospitals, networks, and firewalls. So in those instances, I still think it's worth a call and conversation. And if you get that kind of pushback, maybe really trying to get a call scheduled with us, JAMP in particular, and those people that have those very direct concerns.
Yeah, and the great news, and part of the reason, a huge reason why we partnered with JAMP specifically, is because of the work that they have done in healthcare, and the very like specific, detailed steps that they have taken to make sure that all of their software is very, very secure, very compliant with all PHI needs. That's sort of their bread and butter when it comes to their MDM software. So there's definitely a solution to whatever the concerns are that your architects might be having. And these are very common questions that we've had with every partner hospital that we've partnered with. So we've always found a solution with all of our partners. That's the reason why we're there. So we definitely think that we can find a good solution for your team as well. A lot of it is really just around knowledge sharing and making sure that that your architects are getting the information that they need to feel comfortable. Okay, moving on to the next question here, we have from Aaron Roper. Aaron asks, our hospital already has a decent sized library of iPads for patient use managed through JAMP, but definitely not one per child. Can Bungie still be utilized with an existing program? Awesome. What do
Yeah,
you think?
technically, from a technical standpoint, yes. So essentially, we can help you build those structures within JAMP to basically run our version of our program within your JAMP. That's very similar to the grant model we're going forward, where we're helping hospitals set up their own JAMP instance, anyways. So it's just about content sharing, knowledge sharing in those instances. And it sounds like you already have a fleet of devices, and those devices are already managed by JAMP. So you have a lot of the basic fundamentals set up already. So it would just be about a grant that basically increases your fleet size to meet all of your needs within your hospital. But from a technical standpoint, completely doable.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Austin. Okay, our next question here is from Braxton Bitsoy, who asks, could you expand on the content functionality? What type of content, i.e. games, videos, streaming is available? Is it customization specific to the hospital? They say, I'm really geeking out right now.
Well, if you've ever opened the App Store, there it is. Everything in the App Store is technically available for your devices. Really, what we want to do though is try to really work with Child Life, other teams, unit specific, to narrow down what those app packages are, though, so that you are giving the most appropriate, not only from a developmental perspective, but also from a use perspective. So if a unit uses some specific type of application in their environment as opposed to a different one, those are the types of things that we continue to support you and help have and usher those conversations so that we can build those configurations and profiles within our program. But really, we're pretty limitless in terms of what we can provide. It's more about limiting down to be the most accurate of applications for your patients.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. And I think part of the question was customization to the hospital, and 100%. Every hospital is unique. Every unit can be potentially unique. As Austin said, all of that is able to be customized on the back end for your hospital, because you will have your own JAMP instance that doesn't touch any other hospital. Okay, so next question here is from Madison. I'm so glad, Madison, you asked this question. We were just talking about this right before our call. You say, I requested a partnership back in May of 2021, and I was put on a wait list. Are you expecting applications or accepting applications again? Yes, this is what a great time to be talking about the iPads for Kids program. One of the things that I love most about heading into Q4 of any year is it's our time to really make plans for the next year when it comes to budgeting and resource allocation. So right now is the perfect time to be having conversations with us about gauging interest and where your hospital is at with potentially partnering on this program, so that we can appropriately budget for new incoming partner hospitals for 2022. So what our team is doing now and into the next week or two is we're going back and reevaluating that wait list that we do have. I'm sure there are more folks on this call that have potentially been waitlisted as well. So we're going back through that list, and we'll be reaching back out to you in the next couple of weeks to pick up conversations again and keep that progress moving forward. But if you haven't heard from us by the next week or two, or you haven't reached out to us before and this will be your first time, now is also the perfect time to say hi for the first time and start a conversation with us. Okay, let's see here. We just have another minute or two left. Next question from Oliver Basu is there recommendation for the content from yours or anyone's sides? And the answer is yes. Austin can go into greater detail, but we've essentially kind of curated like a baseline app package recommendation based on age ranges, preschool, school age, teenage to young adult. So in some of those introductory calls, we can provide you with that initial recommended list of applications, and then work with your teams to curate that, kind of customize that down based on the specific needs of your hospital, especially starting to have conversations with different units, like a psych unit, a mental health type of unit might need something very completely different or a rehab unit might need something different than maybe the general inpatient population. So we can work through some of those scenarios, provide our recommendations. Again, Austin is a resident child life specialist, so he's really thinking about it from that psychosocial patient need. Anything else to add, Austin?
No, you nailed that.
Cool. Okay. So next question, and Chris or somebody, you can stop us if I know we're heading over time. So chime in if you need us to stop. But we do have a couple more questions here. The next one is from Aaron C, who says, a problem we face is trying to limit screen time. I'm sorry, limit screen time for our kids who are able to leave their room. On your side, do the iPads we can bring in and out of the room affect your system?
Sorry, I was looking at the chat at other questions as that was coming in. But I believe this question was answered in the chat, but I can touch base on it more a little bit. You can leave the devices in the room, I believe, for those instances when a patient needs to get out of their room. As a child life specialist in the past, I've also utilized devices to actually get patients out. I understand there's the screen time, quote unquote, limiting, but utilizing the device potentially to play music to get the patient out walking around the halls, and other types of games like Pokemon Go used to be a big thing to get patients out looking for all those Pokemon characters. So it's just finding creative ways to actually either not use the device or actually to maybe potentially utilize the device in a way that people haven't potentially seen, and less as a screen time device.
Awesome. Thanks, Austin. Okay, so the next question here is from Jaleesa, who asks, do these iPads go in every room? The answer is sort of twofold. The first is that they absolutely can. We sort of have two primary workflows that we use with the iPads for Kids program. The first workflow is that we do place a specific iPad into a specific patient room. That iPad has a very specific serial number that is associated to the JAMP MDM system that says iPad serial 123 is tied to room ABC. In that scenario, the iPad really can be fully automated. It can connect with JAMP's healthcare listener, which connects to your hospital's EMR system. So when a patient discharges or transfers from that room, the iPad stays in that room, but it hears a command that the room is being changed over, and that iPad will automatically reset back to factory setting. So when the next patient comes into the room, it's already ready to go for them to select their age category and get their iPad set up. There's also a different workflow that has worked better for other hospitals, which is more of a check-in, check-out system. In that type of scenario, we would do sort of like a centralized storage location on each specific unit. And when a patient admits to the room, whether it's the front desk person, a nurse, a designated staff person would assign a specific iPad to that patient. And then they would keep it for the duration of their stay. When the patient discharged or transfers, a very specific dedicated staff person would collect that iPad, reset it back to factory setting, and put it back into the storage system for the next person to use when they come on. Chris, I see your face, so we can take a pause here.
No, yeah, I think, I mean, we could keep asking questions on and on and on, and you guys have made yourselves very available and given us your information to follow up. But Christine, Austin, and Sountary, thank you. Bungie Foundation, one more big shout out here in the room and in the chat. Show them some love in the chat. Bungie Foundation, thank you for everything you guys do. And I don't doubt that you're going to get a lot of people hitting you up on that email, and I don't know if you're in Gather Town or not, in this next break, but if you are, then people will get you there too. So once again, thank you guys.